Black Adam issue 1, Christopher Priest writing, Rafa Sandoval on the art. Some surprising elements to this book, I have to say. I was not expecting so much of like hip teenage Theo when he's not in Black Adam form.
Yeah, that's weird. That's kind of a new, you're talking about his as Lord, right, of Kahndaq.
Yeah, like basically like his human, like the Billy Batson to his Black Adam, if you will. Or to his Shazam, if you know what I mean. Anyway,
I know what you mean.
So yeah, I think by the way, do you know how like so Christopher Priest still doing that thing he did in Deathstroke where he has the black panels that just have the titles and the captions?
So if I had forgot this was a Priest book, that would have instantly reminded me.
I just want to point out, so the first page, the one in the middle says busy, but when I glanced at it when I first opened, I thought it said Busey, and I was like, oh, get in! Oh, what are we doing here?
I wish I could do his Buseyisms and do a Black Adam one, but I can't. I'm not Gary Busey.
Oh, naturally, yeah. So yeah, he's at like a hearing. They're talking to him about violations or something or other. And he's not really interested in hearing them, and he's busy. He's preoccupied because the night before he was fighting what seemed to be Darkseid. It turned out it wasn't though. But he was fighting Darkseid. His suit was all ripped, and he gets blasted with the Omega Beam. So we get this action sequence. It's a great 2-page spread where he sort of he says Shazam into Darkseid's chest, and it big lightning and all the rest of it.
Really cool. Yeah. Crack-a-coom.
Yeah, I think I liked all this stuff because after the sad, and he's like, that wasn't really Darkseid. I would never have taken him down so easily if it was, and all the rest of it. But I think what got me about this is that I'm not sure how I feel about like young human Theo. Like he comes across as like too hip and cool or something. Like, I feel like there was like feelings of dialogue that he had that it felt really like you feel like you're like the villain in like a Teen Titans story or something, as opposed to Black Adam.
So I wrote it as he has complete confidence because he's a world leader, right? That knows like he can kind of do whatever he wants. No one's really held him accountable, and that's how I was reading it.
I think it's just because he feels a bit flashy with his cane, like he feels a bit showy, and I feel like Black Adam. The last thing I think of with Black Adam is that he's not showy. Yeah. That said, though, that's not to say that I dislike the book because I actually kind of like a lot of what it's doing otherwise. And there's a crime scene where an Egyptian man has been killed. Yeah. And this the character's investigating it, and he calls Black Adam and tells him about it. And we're also introduced to the what turns out to be the descendant of Black Adam that's going to have his power transferred to him, who is a doctor. Yeah, he claims to be a doctor. That it turns out he's a med student, who's basically just trying to rile up this white supremacist who's in with injuries. I
will say I love the shit talk to the white supremacists. That was
it's hard
so
not
fantastic.
To. Yeah, it's hard not to enjoy that.
He's like, I'm going to save you, and I'm going to let you know it's someone that looks like me that did this. So just when you have your whole thing, just know.
And the guy,
kept you alive.
And he's like in the hospital under arrest, so he's like handcuffed to the bed. You can see him like sort of like yelling and like trying to move his arms. He's like, "No, don't let the black man save my life!" Like you can definitely see him like
upset,
just upset, yeah, and he's like racist stupor about it. But you have Theo shows up and starts talking, and I'm calling him Theo just because I feel like I should distinguish between.
Black Adam and Theo.
Yeah, regular human version of Black Adam.
It's like Billy and Shazam.
Yeah. So, and he compliments young man. Malik's the name for the record for the descendant. He compliments him for like having the strength to save this guy, even though he's a piece of shit. But then the police show up and arrest Malik for posing as a doctor, I guess. Gets him in trouble. But the big thing is that Black Adam, so his friend here tells him that what's wrong with your hand? There's something wrong with it. And Malik also commented that there's something wrong. He could smell his arm.
It smells burned.
Yeah.
He said.
So Black Adam's like, okay, fine, I'll fix this. He says Shazam, turns into Black Adam, but it turns out his arm is still like burned. It still looks all cracked as if.
But it reminds me of Darkseid.
Yeah.
You know how Darkseid's skin looks?
Yeah. You suspect this Omega Beam is what's doing it, but
did something.
Yeah. So Black Adam says he's dying. He thinks he's dying, and he comes and gets Malik out of after Malik's been let out of the jail cell, because he's held for questioning, but he gets out, and he's got this best friend who he wants to be his girlfriend, but she's like, no, we're not ruining that. But she's pissed at him for doing what he did.
Well, he did impersonate a doctor, and even though you're a med student, you're not a doctor. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So so we get a little bit of like his life. We get a little, this is his best friend that he's maybe in love with. We get a bit of his character, and this is the thing. Even though technically he does something illegal, like what he does is actually really funny, and like you kind of, it's hard not to root for him when he's like, okay, I'm going to impersonate a doctor to F with the white supremacist. That's actually kind of like, okay, I kind of want to root for this character. I like him already.
Well, and I like that when they have him in custody, and he's like, I want a lawyer, and he just says lawyer, and then it took me a second for the last one where he says lawyer. And I was like, what? Is he speaking? Oh, no, he just said lawyer, but he's slowing it down.
Yeah, he's getting cocky, basically.
Yeah, I love how irreverent he is. And it really does fit in with the Black Adam that we all know and love. That's kind of a cocky a-hole, that kind of does what he wants. And even though you could say that he does bad things for good reasons, right? But yeah.
Yeah. So he wants to go to the Kandak consulate to check up on what happened, and he actually gets kidnapped. But turns out it's by Black Adam's people, and Black Adam shows up at the end, and the big reveal at the end is like, I'm dying, and you, Malik Adam, are my descendant, and you're going to get the power of Black Adam. So this mini series, this I guess a 10-issue book.
Yeah.
This is about Black Adam seemingly transferring his power to a younger, new Black Adam.
It's Black Adam Jr. maybe, like Billy has Freddy, and we've seen
this is more of a replacement, though. I mean, if it goes through with it.
I know. I was going to finish my thought. Whereas we've seen Billy share power, Black Adam's really only done like the whole share power thing with Osiris, right, and Isis during 52, and that didn't end up well. So it feels like instead of splitting stuff, he's gonna use this as his replacement, because this is his genealogically his heir. Also, I looked up what the title means, theogony, and it's basically the history of a religion, right? So had I known that, I would have known where this is going. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, no, Christopher Priest really seems to know a thing or two about writing anti-heroes.
Yeah, I think what's interesting though is that this new character Malik might not actually be that much of an anti-hero. Like he could be more of a straight up hero. We don't really know, but I do think it's interesting that this, because I mean we saw him on the cover for like whatever was solicited last. It was like, okay, so we're getting this younger character, and we saw. I mean, I think we said, oh, maybe it's going to be like his sidekick or his new protege or whatever. And I guess that's kind of true, but this book is effectively this character's origin story, and that's kind of neat. I mean,
when I thought protege, I didn't think replacement.
Yeah,
right. I didn't feel like he was setting him up to take the power of Black Adam.
So we'll see if they go through with it, and if he doesn't, does he still share his power? So we still have this new character, or are they doing something else? But I was actually kind of like pleasantly surprised that this turned into be like, oh, this is the origin of a new character who's going to get this power. It's a fine concept, and like I like the character already. Yeah, the only real complaint I have is that Theo's voice when he's being human and like his attitude's a little bit too stylish for what I think of as Black Adam. But that's basically my only.
I did like that Malik called him Dracula at one point. He's like, "Oh, you mean the guy with the cape and the cane?" I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah, that was good. That was good. And Sandoval's art is solid. His Black Adam looks great in the outfit.
Yep.
I think Malik's very expressive, and all that helps to like build the story. Yeah, it's sort of, if anything, I was a little bit worried at the start when it starts off on like a Senate hearing or whatever it is, and I was just kind of like, oh god, like I can just imagine Christopher Priest's wordiness like in scenes like this, but it's very quick and it moves on, and it gets, this definitely felt like it had more action and superhero stuff and feels like more of a traditional superhero kind of like origin story, based on this first issue. And that's not to say that I don't want some of Christopher Priest's like, his craft to come in, because there's a reason why it should, but I kind of like that this had a more of a solid foundation, and like just like letting me get to know this character, and kind of actually wanting to see the origin of him becoming the new Black Adam, or whatever they go with. But it does, I mean, it makes me think he will just be called Black Adam, because that's what they've called the book, and because you realize when you read this that this is maybe more his story than it is actually Black Adam's story. So I think the point is that he will be Black Adam once this is all said and done.
Yeah, and they make sure that you have the editor's note, right, that this takes place before Dark Crisis 1,
yes,
at least.
Yes.
So we'll see where it goes, but yeah, no, again, Christopher Priest,
But given that he's hunting Darkseid, I assume it's after the death of the Justice League, though?
Yeah.
Okay. That's my presumption, anyway.
Yeah, but that's how I took it anyways, because when he was fighting Darkseid, I was like, wait, we already saw this. He got his ass whipped, and he was the only one that came back. So maybe he was going back for more, and this was whatever.
And it makes sense that the Sad's got some sort of fake Darkseid, try to make it look like... Because it makes sense...
Darkseid's fine.
He's basically trying to convince everyone Darkseid's still in Apocalypse, everything's fine. But it makes sense that Darkseid is actually missing right now, because he's with the rest of the
Hand of Doom, or whatever they're called.
The Hand of Darkness.
There you go, Hand of Darkness.
So the Sad's just trying to keep up appearances and failing miserably, because Black Adam can see right through it.
Yep.
So yeah, I didn't expect it to be so neatly tied into continuity, but that's okay.
Here we are, yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty good. I want to read that shit too.
Yeah.
So,
sure.
Yeah. Good stuff. What are you giving Black Adam?
I'm giving this one an 8.
Yeah, I'm giving it a straight 8 as well. I think it's really good.